What's up everyone? The results of the latest power of veto ceremony are in, plus Vince and Morgan continue to take a dive off the deep end. We've got so much to talk about, so welcome to your live feed update. Right before we get started, if you are new around here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm here every single day breaking down everything you need to know about what's going on inside that crazy Big Brother house. On top of that, folks, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button. It takes all of 0.2 seconds just to click that little thumbs up down there. And as a smaller content creator, those likes really do go a long way. And one more thing, folks, I do put a lot of time and effort into these videos, so if you feel like buying me a coffee or supporting me in any way, shape or form, please consider leaving a super thanks or hitting up my PayPal link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get to the update. Alright gang, come on in. I hope you're all having a lovely Labour Day weekend filled with good people, good food, good times, just good things overall. I've got a good update for you right now, and I want to let everybody know before we get started as well, I've officially filmed the mail video. It was an absolute blast. It is currently being edited and should be out very soon. I can't wait for everybody to see all the postcards and packages that were sent through and see which states are leading, because we already have a winner of some of the state that has sent the most postcards in. So I will remind everybody, get your postcards in, because I'm doing another mail video at the end of the season. So let's keep the stakes up. Remember to represent your state by sending in a postcard, folks. But the first update of today comes to you from Ashley and Ava. There was a hilarious moment in the kitchen where Ashley says, "Where are all the boys?" And then Ava shadily turns around, because Ashley sat with Lauren at the dining room table, and then Ava turns around, she's washing dishes in the sink, and she goes, "We evicted all of them." It's true. Take a look at the graphic. Take a look at the graphic right now. There's not a lot going on in terms of the guys left in the house. There's three guys left. This is unprecedented when it comes to Big Brother. So well done, ladies. I've got to say that for sure. Even though it was tongue-in-cheek and the women haven't necessarily all made a pact to get the women to the end, the women are just outperforming the men this season. You know, Vince, Keanu, Will, the only three left, and it might be down to two by the end of this week. And I don't see Keanu getting to the end either, so I think it could be one man before we even know it. But we'll see. We are going to talk about the vote and the veto ceremony and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, ladies doing incredibly well this year. If anybody remembers at the start of the season, I called that. I called that in the preseason. And I am pretty proud of that prediction that ladies are going to dominate this season. Not to say that a lady is going to win. Who knows? We've still got a lot of game left before everything plays out. But yeah, I could see that coming from a mile away. The woman or the women on this cast are, in my opinion, incredibly stronger than the men this year. And this goes to show it all, because when Ashley says, "Where are all the boys?" Ava says, "We evicted them." More and more house guests are starting to talk about Vince and Morgan. At first it was a couple people, but now it's starting to spread like wildfire. All of us viewers have clocked onto it and acknowledged that this is weird, that they are supposed to be friends and he's got a girlfriend of 7 years and they are hugging for what feels like an eternity. I know I did that little demonstration in yesterday's live feed update just to show half of how long the hug was, and that was the most awkward 30 seconds I've ever done on a live feed update. So that goes to show, but I said do that 30 seconds and double it. I want y'all to quadruple it. There was a 2-minute hug yesterday while Vince was eating his food at the dining room table. Morgan came from behind and just held onto him and hugged him, and they both embraced each other and held each other for 2 minutes. 2 minutes! It might not sound like a lot, but that's 120 seconds. I dare you right now to go away and just count from 1 to 120 and see how long that feels like. And then imagine that was a hug the entire time with somebody who's supposed to be a platonic friend. Everyone's starting to talk about it. The house guests, it's on their lips. It's becoming a conversation topic because you can't ignore it anymore. You know, when you walk into a room or you see somebody from afar hugging somebody for that long duration of time, you can't help but go, this is a little bit weird. But yeah, in a conversation, like I said, Will, Ashley, Rachel, Mickey, they were all discussing together how they found it very weird. So not only the viewers are finding it odd, but the house guests are picking up on it too. Yeah, all I can say, weird. Keanu has once again came under fire for his gameplay in the past 24 hours, and I totally understand why. We're going to talk through Keanu's approach to Morgan. Morgan, who won the power of veto, he goes up to her and he wants to convince Morgan to use the power of veto on another nominee, Vince. Vince, who has betrayed him time and time again. Vince, who every single time Keanu tells him something, he sells him out to somebody else. Again and again and again and again. Vince, who Keanu set out this week to target because of that very reason, he now wants to save. He's now back on the Vince train, trying to convince one of the other nominees to use the power of veto on Vince. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. But that goes to show the dumbassery, yes, I love that using that word, the dumbassery of Keanu's gameplay sometimes. Y'all have seen me root for him so hard, and I want him to do the right thing. But the thing with Keanu is just when you think he's about to do the right thing, he does the wrong thing, or entertains the idea of the wrong thing. And then just when you think he's about to do the wrong thing, he does the right thing. So it's really unpredictable where Keanu's going and where he's going to end up for his placement in this game. One thing's for sure, I see him coming back for an all-star season. I see him being invited over to the challenge. He's not going to be forgotten in the archives of reality television. He's going to be one to be remembered. You can't say the same for the rest of this cast, unfortunately. But yeah, Keanu, even though these dumbass reads and really bad plays are coming into play, it doesn't stop it from being incredibly entertaining. Way to go on entertainment, and bad to go on gameplay. It gets a big from me. Now, we all know how much Lauren loves Vince and how she follows him around. She's almost his lapdog in terms of gameplay and how she completely plays for Vince rather than herself. So it makes sense that she wanted to play some chess with him. She tried to make a plan to make some chess, and Vince says, yes, sounds great. We can go and play some chess. Just give me a second. I just want to go grab my flannel. And then, right on cue, Morgan walks out the diary room. And she asks him if he wants a hammock moment with her, go out to the hammocks in the backyard. Vince then proceeds to ditch plans with Lauren to go and hang out with Morgan. I don't even know what to say. This is turning into a dating show. They're not dating, but it's fascinating watching the intricacies of these personal relationships play out. How Lauren is so... It's like a food chain almost. Like, Lauren is so down bad in terms of wanting to play for Vince. She thinks she's a Janelle. She thinks she's a Rachel because they're the players that she idolizes. But no, she's playing just like a follower, like somebody in Paul's Alliance from 19. So she wants to do this with Vince, and then Vince, who, should really have his head in the game and realise, I've got a lapdog right here that I can say sit, and she will sit. I can say use the veto on me, and she will use the veto on me. I can say throw yourself under the bus, and she will throw herself under the bus. But no, it doesn't quite compute. Instead, his head is going to Morgan. And it's not like he's obliged to go to Morgan, it's not one of those things where it's like a legitimate family member in there or friendship, but I'm no social mastermind, but I'm pretty sure when you tell somebody you're going to go do something with them, and then you ditch them seconds later to go with somebody else who, you are not married to, you are not in a relationship with them, even though he's kind of acting like it. It's very weird, it's odd to see, and I did actually feel sorry for Lauren, I've been very critical of Lauren's game, but it doesn't mean that, I'm not cold-blooded. I think that's very, very sad. She sees Vince as a friend in there, and when you've got those moments in the day where you look for the person you trust in the house, a house that is very isolating, where you don't know if you can fully trust anybody, and you make a little plan with them, it's nice to look forward to. Janelle and Kesa, they used to play chess with each other back in the day in Big Brother 6 and 7. They loved each other's company, and no, he's just. Whew. He only has eyes for Morgan, and it's becoming increasingly concerning, and I think a lot of the house guests are realising it too. Not I think, they are. The veto ceremony finally came around, and Keanu had to decide who to put up as the replacement nominee, with Morgan using the power of veto on herself. A massive congratulations to Morgan, and I just want to say every single person now that isn't nominated has officially made it to the jury stage of the game. Who'd have thought it? Let's take a moment there, because Rachel Riley is in the jury officially. She's not necessarily going to be in the jury, but she's made it to the jury stage. If you told me that, all those weeks ago, I would have laughed. Yet here we are. This cast has not gotten her out yet, which, again, I'm going to use the word dumbassery. I'm looking at all these people in the house, and if my memory serves me correctly, Lauren and Rachel are the only two to not hit the block yet. Madness how the biggest threat and the smallest threat are the two not to hit the block. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, wow. Well done, Rachel. That's all I got to say there. And well done to the rest of these folks for making it to this stage of the game. With this veto win, Morgan solidified herself into the jury stage. I would say solidified, but Keanu was trying to push her for a second to use it on Vince, but luckily she's not that dumb. She might go chasing Toothbrush, but she's not that dumb. She actually used the veto on herself. And Keanu decided to replace Morgan with Ashley. Ashley once again hits the block. It's been a minute. Flashbacks to Showergate. The last time, or around about the last time. All that was still on people's mouths, and that just feels like that was such a long time ago. That feels like a lifetime ago at this point. But Ashley has once again hit the block, meaning that the nominees sitting on the block come eviction night will be Mickey, Vince, and Ashley. They are going to compete in the blockbuster, but only one can win the blockbuster. Two will face the vote to evict, and one of them will be sent out the door, just shy of the jury stage. This is a very pivotal week. Do not give up on campaigning. Do not give up on lobbying for those votes. That was the same thing, campaigning and lobbying for those votes. But yeah, seriously, this is the week to lock in. Even if just that last push to get yourself to that jury stage means that you're going to be a part of deciding a winner of Big Brother, which is a huge thing. Even if you don't end up in the final two, like I said there, you are going to be part of this team of people that is going to pick somebody for the Big Brother history book. So it's very important. Don't give up, nominees. Keep pushing. A little tease after the veto ceremony. We're going to go into more details tomorrow when we talk about everything that happened today. But Ashley definitely took Keanu to task and basically straight up called him a misogynist who talks down to women. And Keanu was not pleased about that at all. He feels like that people are running a narrative there. If you've been watching my channel, I've called since pretty much week 1 or 2 that I think Keanu doesn't respect women as much as he respects men. But that's up to the individual viewer to watch and find out, but that's just my opinion. I see the way he gives men time and time again reasons to distrust him and betray him, and then he keeps going back to them. And then with women, he kind of just doesn't even entertain the idea of genuinely working with them, and giving it a proper go. And to me, that was a big red flag in the early days, but it just adds to that layer of Keanu's messy gameplay. But Ashley actually took him to task and said that to him after the nomination ceremony. We're going to talk about all of that tomorrow, folks, but that's all we've got time for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching. Alright gang, I would love to hear from you. That mail video that we just filmed was incredible. I had so much fun doing that, and it went on quite a while, so when that video uploads, y'all are going to have yourselves a nice long sit down to be able to watch that video, and I can't wait for you all to see it. And I want to do another one at the end of the season, so folks, send postcards in, send packages in. I can't tell you the amount of lovely things people sent in, from shirts to little things from their hometown, so I can get a taste of their states. It's so freaking cool, and all these postcards, not just from the USA, but from around the world, absolutely insane. And I just want to thank everybody so much for it. But the fun doesn't stop now, so folks, send in a postcard, send in a package. I would love to hear from you with the address on screen right now. Try and blow my mind, folks. I would love to hear from you. But I've got a few super thanks before we close things out. First up is from David Cushmore. Going to throw David's up on screen right now. Thanks as always, David. Yes, if Vince gets his third head of household reign, maybe he can establish himself a bit more. But what I need him to do, if he does win this third head of household, is to actually establish himself more as a player in regards to the fact that he plays victim every single time he makes a decision and cries and does all that kind of woe is me stuff. People aren't going to respect that towards the end. I feel like there's almost a Paul mentality there, Paul and Josh, I feel like Keanu, Vince, Paul, Josh, I'm seeing a couple of things there, where it's the mad delusional person like Keanu and Josh gets to the end, but then they sweep the jury because of the Vincent Paul person, you know, trying to kiss everybody's ass and then realizing it doesn't work when you get to the end. So yeah, I could see that happening again. But Vince really does need to establish himself. Very much looking forward to Halloween. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate you. Next up is the great Kathleen Branham. Very, very kind as always. Kathleen Branham says, thanks for another great update. Feel better, Sam. Gotta say the comparison of Vince to Nicole seems off to me. He seems more like Vanessa. See, he's Vanessa without Vanessa with the crying, but I feel like Vanessa was way more strategic. She could never own what she did and would cry. That was her downfall. She was strategic but too scared to own it. Yeah, you just said it there. She was very strategic, but she cried a hell of a lot. Thank you so much, Kathleen Branham. I appreciate you ever so much. Next up, we've got the Bibliophile Puzzler. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's very, very kind. And I appreciate the compliment on the song. Next up, we've got Soldier Gall. Thank you so much, Soldier Gall. I appreciate you ever so much. Soldier Gall says, love the hug demonstration. Yeah, I blew my own mind by doing that one yesterday. Just that 30 seconds alone felt like an eternity, and the hug was double that, quadruple that today with the 2-minute hug. Absolute insanity, but thank you so much, Soldier Gall. I appreciate you. Next up, we've got the great Connie C. Connie C sent in a little something on the mail video. I can't wait for you all to see that. But thank you so much, Connie. I appreciate you, my darling. And Connie says, great update and what a hug. Glad you're on the mend, Sam. When you look up the word delusional, you'll get a video of Big Brother 27. And Connie's favourite seasons are season 10 and 16. Yeah, 10 and 16, definitely popular ones there with some great characters. 10 is one of the most iconic of all time. 16 gave us the great Donnie. Donnie is one of my favourites of all time. There's quite a few great ones on the 16 cast. Thank you so much, Connie. I appreciate you. And then last but certainly not least, on my challenge breakdown video is the wonderful Karen Fouracre. Karen Fouracre says, thanks Tom, gotta watch all the seasons to really get to know most of the players. Yeah, I really, when I get to, probably in the Big Brother off season, because, when Big Brother's on, it's just Big Brother all the time. But when there's going to be a bit more downtime after Big Brother's done, that's definitely going to be my time to go back to old seasons of the challenge, check those out, and that'll enhance my commentary when I'm doing the challenge breakdowns as well. But I'm really loving getting to know these new challenge players and giving a newcomer's perspective on it. But thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate you, my darling. Folks, I hope that you're staying safe, staying positive, and staying healthy out there. And remember to be kind to one another. But in the meantime, please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that wonderful stuff. But until your next live feed update, I've been your host, Tom Vasey. Good night.